Welcome back. I'm John Danner, co-author of The Other F Word, and your co-host on this series with the Nick, the resilient entrepreneur, building success and surviving setbacks. My co-author Mark is doing another solo version of our series, and this time I'll be holding for it on this one. I wanted to set the stage for this whole topic because it's important, I think, to begin to understand that our reason for focusing on failure is not about building character or anything like that. It's really about improving your odds for success in your own venture. And when you think about that, I want you to try on for size a way to perhaps consider this notion of failure in the context of your own venture's future. Now, you and I, we're all in the from to business. We're all trying to move our ideas, our businesses from where they are today to someplace that's better or stronger or bigger in the future. And there's no better way to start than this question. What is it that every organization wants? I'm going to suggest it starts with growth. Whether you're a nonprofit organization, a government agency, or a for-profit business, you want to grow. You want to be bigger tomorrow than you were today. But the fact is that growth requires more than just more, because there are too many organizations that confused a changing market with a static market that thought that what they were offering today was going to be good enough to offer more of tomorrow. And they found to their chagrin that that was not the case, that customers had moved on, that competitors had moved in. So you need something more than just more. You need innovation. Because innovation is the path to discovering new ways of creating value for yourselves, for your employees, and your customers and investors. And innovation requires experimentation because by definition, nobody knows whether an innovation is going to work unless and until you try it. It's all about becoming better than the status quo, better than your competitors are offering, better in the minds of your customers. The third thing that I think most organizations want, whether it's a small team or a large team, is what I would characterize as genuine employee engagement, where you have people committing themselves, their energy, their enthusiasm, their ideas to what it is you're trying to accomplish. Now, we had the opportunity when we were doing our book to work with the organization that you probably know of through those 100 best places to work lists that show up in Fortune magazine and elsewhere around the world, the Great Place to Work Institute. And when we were talking with them about our book and whether or not there was a connection between their research and our focus on failure, they said, absolutely. And I said, well, it'd be helpful to us because our readers are going to be busy. They're very distracted. It'd be nice if you could help us simplify all of those decades of research and hundreds of thousands of interviews that you've done all over the world. What's the secret to creating a great place to work? And the then CEO of this organization smiled and she said, how about one word? What do you think that word was? One word. If you wanted to focus on only one thing to make your organization worthy of genuine employee engagement, to become a great place to work, that word is trust. Trust that goes up and down. That's from the top of the organization to the bottom of the organization, from the leader of the team to the lowest member of the team. But it also works horizontally. It works when you know that the people you're working with have your back and you have theirs, and you both know it in your gut, in your heart. That's the kind of trust we're talking about. So if I'm right at all, that this is the three things that organizations want: growth, innovation, and employee engagement. What's the one thing that no organization wants? Guess what? It's failure. You don't see organizations saying, we're going to be number one in failure. We're going to show the world how to fail. We're going to be the best failure in our market, in our region. No, people don't want to fail. They want to succeed. And here's the paradox I want to leave you with. The three things that we want the most for our businesses: growth, innovation, and employee engagement, depend on the one thing we want the least, which is failure. Why do I say that? Because growth doesn't happen without innovation. Innovation doesn't happen without experimentation. Experimentation doesn't happen without failure. It's called trial and error. And guess what? That trust that I talked about earlier with employee engagement, when do you think genuine trust is established, or when do you think it's destroyed? When things are going great and we're all high-fiving one another? No. It's when failure is present. It's when things are not going well that you know whether or not you can genuinely trust the people above you, on either side of you, and below you in your organization. So in some ways, those three things we want the most, which actually represent the future of your company, the future of your venture, depend in very intimate ways on the thing you want the least. And that's one of the reasons why we invite you to think more creatively, perhaps, more honestly, maybe with a little bit of humor too, about how failure can help you improve the odds of creating the kind of future for your venture that you hope for. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next installment.